Typhoon Francisco is making landfall in Kyushu this morning as a Category 2 storm with winds of 105 miles per hour and a pressure of 968 millibars, our estimate this morning. It's at 32.2 north, 131.6 east, which is just inland. That satellite imagery isn't quite up to date. On the CDPS, it has gained a rank with that wind speed. The storm has intensified quite significantly in the last hours leading up to its landfall this morning. It's now a stage 4. Extensive damage is possible from this storm. It is very compact, however. There's its wind field. It still extends over most of Kyushu, though. And this is as of 6 a.m. Japan time this August the 6th. The storm's expected to move towards the northwest. It's 12 miles from Saito, 13 from Hyuga, 25 from Miyazaki, 56 from Kumamoto, and 98 from Nagasaki. The storm over the next few days will head up towards the Korean peninsula in the next 24 hours actually. A typhoon warning is in effect there, as well as for the whole of Kyushu and for Yamaguchi. A gale advisory for Shikoku, Okayama, Hiroshima and Shimane. Also for some of those islands just south of Kagoshima. Total rainfall in the next 7 days is projected in this way. You can see the rainfall beginning to affect South Korea there as well. Most of it will land over Kyushu though, where local maximums could reach around 10 inches, 250 millimeters. Behind that, the tropics are very warm now. Further south, more typhoon activity is likely and is already beginning, and more huge amounts of rainfall are expected for areas south of the Japanese islands and possibly for the islands themselves, depending on what this next system, which has just been dubbed 11W, will do. Sea surface temperatures are still very warm, which has led up to this intensification. At least that's my opinion. That's probably the main reason why it's managed to intensify quickly in the last few hours. There's its wind forecast. Still expected to deliver tropical storm force winds quite easily to South Korea. You can see Lekima on the bottom left hand side of the screen there, still veering off towards the northwest, in fact affecting some of those southernmost Ryukyu islands, and 11W as well, starting to affect the Ogasawara Islands. So some of the Japanese islands could be affected by all three of these storms in the next few days. Francisco, the main feature in this update, is well gone by then. Chance of tropical storm force winds, needless to say, pretty much 100% at Miyazaki, 95% at Kumamoto, 86 at Fukuoka, 83 at Nagasaki, and 54% in Busan, South Korea. What the models are saying right now, they're well behind the curve, and so the JTWC. They only went with 75 knots at their latest update after initially not going with a hurricane or typhoon at all. Low wind shear has also helped the storm become so strong. We are going out on a limb just a little bit with our estimate of 105 miles per hour, but the last 2 hours, 3 hours in particular, has certainly produced good enough imagery for the storm to look enough for Category 2 status. Indeed, some satellite estimates go even higher than that at Category 3, but because it's such a recent development, we're not going that far. Here is the latest satellite imagery showing how the storm has managed to develop over the last few frames. To be honest, this has a little bit of a lag. There are more images closer to the landfall than what these images are showing. Unfortunately, it's all I've got right now. But Force 13 will be running a live event in the Tropical Weather Bulletin slot tonight at midnight UTC, so stay tuned for that with the very latest on Francisco and everything else. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle, it's at Force 13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colours wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.